Mike Tyson. Early life 1966–1981. Michael Gerard Tyson was born on June 30, 1966, in Brooklyn, New York. He grew up in Brownsville, one of the most dangerous neighborhoods in the city. His father abandoned the family early, and his mother struggled financially. Tyson was often bullied as a child due to his high-pitched voice and lisp, which led him to develop a violent temper. By the age of 13, he had been arrested over 30 times for street fights, robberies, and other crimes. While in a juvenile detention center, his fighting ability was noticed by a counselor and former boxer, Bobby Stewart, who introduced him to legendary trainer Cus D'Amato. D'Amato became his legal guardian after his mother's death in 1982. Under D'Amato's guidance, Tyson developed a powerful peekaboo boxing style, with head movement, explosive punches, and relentless aggression. Amateur career and early professional success 1981–1986. Tyson quickly made a name for himself in the amateur ranks. He won gold medals at the 1981 and 1982 Junior Olympics. Turned professional in March 1985, at age 18. Won his first 19 fights by knockout, most in the first round. November 22, 1986. Became the youngest heavyweight champion in history at 20 years old, defeating Trevor Berbick for the WBC title. Unified the WBC, WBA, and IBF titles by 1987, becoming the undisputed heavyweight champion. Prime years and dominance 1987–1989. Defended his title 9 times, knocking out top fighters like Larry Holmes, Tony Tucker, and Michael Spinks. Became the highest paid athlete in the world and a pop culture icon. Downfall begins. Upset and legal troubles 1990–1995. 1990. Lost to Buster Douglas in one of the biggest upsets in boxing history. Tyson entered the fight out of shape and overconfident. Douglas knocked him out in the 10th round. 1991. Arrested and convicted of rape. Sentenced to 6 years in prison but served 3. While in prison, he converted to Islam and changed his name to Malik Abdul Aziz, though he still goes by Mike Tyson publicly. Comeback and infamous. Bite fight, 1995–1997. Released from prison in 1995 and resumed boxing. Won the WBA and WBC heavyweight titles again but lost them to Evander Holyfield in 1996. 1997. In a rematch with Holyfield, Tyson bit off a piece of his ear, leading to a disqualification and a 1-year suspension from boxing. Late career and retirement 1999–2005. Continued fighting but was no longer the same dominant force. Lost to Lennox Lewis in 2002 in a heavily hyped fight. After back-to-back losses to Danny Williams and Kevin McBride, he retired in 2005, saying he had lost his passion for boxing. Life after boxing and reinvention 2005–present. 2009. Gained fame for his comedic role in The Hangover. 2013. Launched his one-man Broadway show, Mike Tyson, Undisputed Truth, directed by Spike Lee. 2019. Started his popular podcast, Hotboxin' with Mike Tyson. 2020. Returned to the ring for an exhibition fight against Roy Jones Jr., which ended in a draw. Present. Runs a cannabis business, acts, and continues to be a major pop culture figure. Legacy. Known for his explosive power, speed, and intimidation in the ring. Holds the record as the youngest heavyweight champion ever. Despite controversies, he remains one of the most iconic and fascinating figures in sports history. Let's break it down with a focus on some of his most defining challenges. 1. Struggles with anger and impulsivity. Early life and boxing career. Challenge. Mike Tyson's temper and impulsive behavior were major challenges throughout his life. His violent outbursts and aggressive personality were a reflection of the trauma he experienced growing up. In the ring, this often worked to his advantage early on, as he intimidated opponents. However, his inability to control his anger eventually led to disastrous outcomes. Examples. Biting Evander Holyfield's ear, 1997. Tyson's inability to manage frustration during his fights came to a head in the infamous rematch against Holyfield. After struggling to land punches and being repeatedly headbutted by Holyfield, Tyson bit off a part of his opponent's ear in a fit of rage, costing him his reputation, the fight, and a suspension from boxing. Self-destructive behavior in his prime. Outside of the ring, Tyson's reckless actions, such as road rage and violent altercations, were a reflection of his inability to cope with the pressures of fame and his inner demons. 2. Addiction and mental health struggles post-retirement. Challenge. After his boxing career ended, Tyson struggled with substance abuse, depression, and mental health issues. His mental state worsened due to the pressure of living up to the baddest man on the planet image while also dealing with his self-destructive tendencies. Examples: drugs and alcohol. Tyson openly admitted to his struggles with addiction, including using cocaine and alcohol to cope with the pain and the loss of his career. Depression and anger issues. Tyson's frustration over his loss of purpose after retirement, coupled with his ongoing anger issues, led him to periods of deep depression. He was often battling feelings of shame and guilt, particularly regarding the fall from his prime. 3. Financial ruin, late 1990s to early 2000s. Challenge. Despite earning hundreds of millions of dollars throughout his boxing career, Tyson's irresponsible spending and lack of financial management led him to declare bankruptcy in 2003. Examples: excessive spending. Tyson lived a lavish lifestyle, buying tigers, expensive cars, and large mansions. He didn't have proper financial management, and much of his wealth went toward maintaining his luxurious lifestyle. Legal fees and divorce settlements. In addition to his spending, Tyson also faced numerous legal battles and divorce settlements, further draining his finances. Bankruptcy. By 2003, Tyson had accumulated debts totaling over $23 million and was forced to file for bankruptcy. 4. Legal troubles and imprisonment 1992-1995. Challenge. Tyson faced a major setback in his life when he was convicted of rape in 1992. His legal troubles not only cost him his boxing license and a 3-year prison sentence, but they also led to a massive loss in his reputation and career. Examples: the rape conviction. Tyson was convicted of the sexual assault of Desiree Washington, a Miss Black America contestant, in 1991. The trial was highly publicized, and Tyson's image as a ruthless fighter was tarnished forever. Prison time. Tyson served 3 years of his 6-year sentence and was released in 1995, but the time away from boxing severely impacted his career, leaving him rusty and out of shape. His absence also contributed to the decline of his popularity in the boxing world. 5. The Buster Douglas loss 1990. Challenge. One of Tyson's most significant challenges was his shocking loss to Buster Douglas in 1990, which marked the beginning of his decline. Tyson entered the fight against Douglas unprepared, lacking the same focus and discipline that had made him so dominant in the ring. Examples: overconfidence and poor preparation. Tyson, who had knocked out nearly every opponent with ease, thought of Douglas as just another stepping stone. His preparation was lackluster, and he didn't take Douglas seriously. Emotional and physical decline. Tyson's emotional state was also fragile during this time. He was involved in personal issues, and his focus on boxing had waned. The loss to Douglas was the first sign of Tyson's unraveling career, and it shattered his mystique as an invincible fighter. 6. Comeback attempts 1995-2005. Challenge. After his release from prison in 1995, Tyson tried to regain his former glory in the ring. However, the Tyson that emerged from prison was not the same fighter who had dominated the 1980s. His power and speed had diminished, and his mental focus was also unstable. Examples: struggles to regain the title. Tyson did manage to win the WBA and WBC heavyweight titles in the mid-1990s, but his reign was brief, and he was eventually defeated by Evander Holyfield in 1996. Decline in performance. His losses to Lennox Lewis in 2002 and to fighters like Kevin McBride and Danny Williams in 2004-2005 showed that Tyson's skills had significantly deteriorated. Mental and physical decline. Tyson's loss of motivation and desire to fight, combined with his aging body, meant that his attempts at a comeback were unsuccessful. His final loss to McBride in 2005 led to his official retirement. 7. Public image and rehabilitation 2005-present. Challenge. After his retirement, Tyson's public image was severely damaged by his history of controversies, criminal convictions, and emotional instability. He was often viewed as a cautionary tale in sports. Examples: attempted reinvention. Tyson tried to rebuild his image by opening up about his life in his memoir, Undisputed Truth, and performing his one-man Broadway show. He also appeared in films like The Hangover to show a more humorous side. Cannabis business. Tyson turned to the cannabis industry as a way to rebuild his life. He launched Tyson Ranch, a marijuana company, and became an advocate for legalized cannabis. Ongoing mental health issues. Tyson has spoken openly about his mental health struggles and his battle with depression and addiction, but his willingness to address these issues publicly has earned him some respect for his vulnerability. Key takeaways from Tyson's challenges. Mike Tyson's life is filled with incredible highs and devastating lows. His challenges were both external, like opponents and legal issues, and internal, like anger management and mental health struggles. The most defining aspects of Tyson's challenges were mental health and impulsivity. Tyson's inability to cope with his emotions led to many poor decisions in both his career and personal life. Inability to manage fame and wealth. His financial mismanagement, legal issues, and self-destructive habits were major obstacles that hindered his success. Coping with losses. Whether it was his career losses or his personal struggles, Tyson's inability to adjust to the realities of life outside the ring was another significant challenge. Despite these obstacles, Tyson's comeback story, particularly his work to improve himself in later years, has been one of the more inspiring aspects of his journey. Enjoying the content? Smash that like button, share with your friends, and hit subscribe for more. Don't forget the bell icon. Stay updated.